In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve a polynomial inequality. Now, suppose you're given this problem, solve x cubed minus 2x squared minus 3x is less than 0. So solve this polynomial inequality means find the values for x that are going to make this inequality true. And what we're going to use to help us solve this inequality is a sign graph. The first thing we have to do to solve this inequality is to find the roots or zeros of the inequality, which we can do by factoring. So first, what we're going to do is you kind of treat it like as if it were an equation, but you maintain this less than sign instead of an equation. But what you can do is you can factor out an x out of the expression on the left, and then you're going to be left with x squared minus 2x minus 3 on the left side of the inequality, and that's going to be less than 0. And now what we can do is we can factor this trinomial further to factor it completely. So x squared minus 2x minus 3, you got to find the factors of -3 that when added up together get you back to -2. So if I have a -3 and a +1, then when I FOIL it out, I would have x times x is x squared minus 3x plus 1x equals -2x. And then I still have a -3. So that's good. So my roots are going to be 0, -1, and 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to plot those on a number line. So I'm going to start off with the number -2. We're going to go -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so we're going to plot all of the zeros of this inequality on this number line. So at -1, there's an inequality, and I'm just going to put an open circle right there. At 0, x equals 0 is a root, and also 1, 2, 3 is a root of this inequality. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to make test points over each interval of this inequality and find if the value of the inequality over that particular interval is less than or greater than or equal to 0. So we need to set up a series of test points. So let's use x equals -2 as one of the test points. Let's use the point -1/2 as a test point. And let's use the point 1 as a test point. And then let's use the point 4 as a test point. And then we're going to calculate the value of the inequality for each one of these test points by substituting into this inequality since it's simpler. Well, if x equals -2, then we're going to have, substituting in, we're going to have -2 times -2 plus 1 is -1. And then -2 minus 3 is -5. So we're going to have -2 times -1 is a positive number. And then positive number times a negative number is a negative number. So all we need to write is a minus sign, because the value of the inequality is going to be negative over this interval. And now let's use the point x equals -1/2. If we substitute this into the inequality, we're going to have -1/2 times -1/2 plus 1 is +1/2. And then we're going to have -1 minus 3 is -7/2. So we're going to have a negative number times another negative number is going to be a positive number. So the inequality is going to be positive over this interval. It's negative over this interval. Now we're going to use another test point, 1, and if we substitute in to the inequality, we're going to have 1 times 1 plus 1 is 2, times 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So this is going to be a negative number over this interval. So it's going to be negative over this interval all the way up to 3. And then if we test the point 4, we're going to have 4 times 4 plus 1 is 5, times 4 minus 3 is 1. So that's a positive number. So it's going to be positive. The inequality is going to be positive over that final interval. So taking this all into consideration, it looks to me that the inequality is going to be less than 0 over the interval from -1 down to infinity because of our test point here. Then it's going to be positive from this interval from -1 to 0. So that's not going to be part of the solution. But the inequality is going to be negative again from x equals 0 all the way up to x equals 3, where then it equals 0. And then when x is greater than 3, it's going to be a positive number, greater than 0. So this is not going to be part of the solution. So the solution is going to be all the values of x such that, you know, it's going to be from -infinity to -1, and or 0 is going to be less than x is going to be less than 3. So another way to write it would be like all x less than -1 or 0 is less than x is less than 3. So this is the solution. So that's how you solve a polynomial inequality using a sign graph. If you have any questions, please send me a comment or a message. You can check out my homepage, greenbelttutoring.com. Please like and comment on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what kind of algebra problems you are having difficulty with and you need help with, and get in touch with me. I look forward to helping you soon. Thanks.